Okay, so we're going to move to the volume of a cone. If you guys recall, the volume of a cylinder, right? If you look in your formula, the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times the height, right? So pi r squared because that's the area of the base, which is the area of the circle, pi r squared, times the height of the cylinder. Now, if I'm looking at the cone, the volume of the cone is 1/3 of that, okay? So if I fit a cone that has the same circle base, if I fit it in, it's going to take 1/3 of its space, okay? So that's why what we do is we take that formula, pi r squared h, and then multiply it by 1/3. Again, you don't have to memorize this. You just look in your formula, and it should be 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, so what I need is I need the height of the cone again. So I'm looking at not the slant height, I'm looking at the height, which means from the tip of the cone perpendicular to the base of the cone. Okay, and the radius is the radius of the circle. This example here. So a paper cup in the shape of a cone has a radius of 3.2 centimeter and a height of 6 centimeter. How much water can the cup hold? So what would you do? So plug in the values into the formula, right? I know it's a cone, so I'm going to use the 1/3 pi r squared h, and then plug in 3.2 for the radius and square that, and then plug in 6 for the height. 64.8? 0.3. And what's my unit? Centimeter cube. Okay? Now I want you to look at your conversion sheet, and can you report it into either mil or liter for me? It's going to be 64.3 milliliter. Do you guys agree with that? No. You don't agree with yourself? Okay, here's the thing. What's the conversion between mil and centimeter cube? Look at your formula sheet. Where's your formula sheet? So if you look, you have 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cube, no? Yeah, it is. Right? So if you have 1 milliliter is equivalent to 1 centimeter cube. So that means if I have 64.3 centimeter cube, how many milliliters would that be? 64.3. It's 1-to-1 ratio. Right? It's 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so if you look, for those of you who were not here yesterday, so if you look in this table right here, the first table, and then you look milliliters, and then centimeter cube, the ratio is 1-to-1. Right? So that means this is the same thing as saying that the volume is 64.3 milliliter. Okay? Easy. All right. Find the volume of the following figure. So what do I have here? 2 cones, right? 2 cones. All right. In order to find the volume of the whole figure, what do I need to do? I can't understand what you guys are saying.
Find one and then add it.
So find the volume of the first one, find the volume of the second one, and then add them, right? Because you're looking at the total volume, right? So I can find the volume of the first cone, and then I can find the volume of the second cone, and then I can add them together because they're put together, right? So the volume of the first cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. And then my radius is 6. And my height is 18. I don't know where I placed my calculator. $78. $678.6 centimeter cube. The volume of the second cone is 1/3 pi 6 squared times 24. 904.8. Okay, so remember that because I'm looking at the volume, so I'm looking at the combo of both. So my total volume is V1 plus V2, and that would be 678.6 plus 904.8, and that's going to 0.4. Let's take that extra step now. So if you want to convert this, would you convert it to milliliters or to liters? I would convert to liters too, because if it's to milliliters, then it's going to be 1,583 milliliter. I mean, yeah, sure. It's a big number, right? It's better to report it to liters. Because would you rather say, for example, 1,500 mil, or would you rather say 1.5 liter? Right? I don't know. Someone's enjoying the music. All right. So if I'm looking at this, so go back to this. Can you tell me what your conversion is between liters and centimeter cube? So 1 liter is equal to? Okay. So do you guys understand? Can you read this? Do you understand how to read the table? Okay, so if you look here, liters, centimeter cube. That number belongs to the second column. So 1 liter is equal to 1,000 centimeter cube. This is how I would read it. Okay? So that number here belongs to the second column. All right, where would I place that centimeter cube? That answer. Under the centimeter cube, right? So under the 1,000. So I'll place the 1583.4. I'll place it under the centimeter cube. I'm looking at how many liters that would be. Okay? What did we say we have to do? Cross multiply and divide by 1,000. So remember that you cross multiply the two numbers that you have, and then you're going to have to divide by the 1,000. Okay? So I have the 1583.4 centimeter cube times 1 liter divided by 1,000 centimeter cube. You see, when I have this, the centimeter cube, they're going to cancel, right? They have to cancel. One has to be on the top, the other one has to be on the bottom. And then I'm going to end up with just liters. So if I divide by 1,000, it's going to be about 1.6, right? So 1.583 for liter which is about 1.6 liter, okay? So if I'm talking to you and I'm telling you that the volume is 1,583.4 centimeter cube, you're gonna look at me and you're gonna say, how is that a volume unit, right? I mean, it is, but we are used to the liters or the milliliters more than the centimeter cube as a volume, okay? So converting is always a good idea.